everybody. Happy Christmas. This is me, Pigtail Girl. I decided to go live. I don't know why. I'm feeling all sort of saucy and cheeky today. Don't know if anyone will find me live, but hey, I just got these new cards from Santa Claus. New Orleans Oracle cards. And this was the box. Hope you're all having a lovely day, my darlings. And a lot of love sent out to anyone spending Christmas alone. And, you know, this is a good time of year to celebrate whatever your belief systems are. When you live, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's wintry, you really do need something to warm you up and keep you going in the winter months. And I just learned today that this used to be the time of year where they would worship the goddess in all her three forms, bringing life and abundance, fertility and gifts and warmth back into the home. So something else to think about this time of year. What a lovely idea to celebrate the warmth of the feminine and the nurturance of the feminine. Okay, I'm going to close you. I've never really live streamed on this channel before. So anywho, and yeah, I wanted to tell you an alternative nativity story about Jesus too, but hey, I just got this Speak Your Truth card popping out. Look at that. How funny when I was mentioning going live and not really going live. So how would you like to hear my alternative nativity story? Oh, wow. This card just jumped out again. Speak Your Truth. So I'm going to tell it like a story. It's a little download story I had. Take it or leave it. See it just as an alternative Christmas story, shall we say? Ho, ho, ho. So my story is many, many, many moons ago, thousands of moons ago, a bunch of negatively charged aliens descended upon the beautiful and young yet innocent and naive Earth, full of humans that were being created by other star ancestors that were beyond them in a time where these people grew and all learnt together and lived in peaceful societies in tune with nature. A group that I'm going to call the Elohim arrived with what they called their angelic messengers, prophets and scribes. And they created kings to rule upon the earth, to do their bidding in those days. And they bore many fruits and many systems, and an inverted matrix was placed upon us, and lies were fed to us, and their stories were given to us as our own. And many believe these stories right up to this day. And so they created kings by taking virgin ladies and inseminating them with their DNA. And this one time, they approached lovely Mary, who was only 13 or 14 years of age, a young virgin of the right kind of bloodline they were looking for. They decided she was going to carry the new king. So they inseminated her, and she was sent an angel who was a messenger of these Elohim called Gabriel to let her know what was up and to let her know that she was to give birth to the new king, to be working for the gods, the Elohim, Yahweh, El, Elion, whatever their names were, Baal, Enlil, Enki. You know, we know them by different names. So she was impregnated, and her soon husband to be Joseph, well, he was just there and annoyed. But what these gods didn't realize is that young Mary and Joseph, they were freedom fighters. There were many freedom fighters back then who were trying to get rid of the Elohim, who knew, but they had to meet in secret or separate themselves from the desert areas where these Elohim like to live. They like to live in the lands that would soon become called the Holy Lands. And so these holy lands full of these gods and their creations, their new bloodlines, the noble bloodline, the noble blood, the blue blood, they had to have the blood of the Elohim to be considered king. That's why they had to be sons of God. And so they made the Elohim, they made the kings with some of their DNA, slightly in their likeness, and expected them to do their bidding, which meant killing people and bloodshed and war, but splitting people into groups and pitting them against each other. But these freedom fighters, they were fighting against that. So young Mary, she was very brave, and she was a real freedom fighter. And she ran off with 3 magi that came to bring gifts and to give them safe passage. The 3 wise magi arrived to actually, they were freedom fighters too, helping Mary to escape with Jesus and go underground. So, well, the soon-to-be Jesus, I should say, go underground. And I believe the story takes them through Europe into the UK, because the Elohim stay away from the cold areas because they don't like the cold. They don't go there. And so Mary hid out amongst Celts, amongst Druids, amongst pagans, amongst whoever was there at that time, Essenes. And Jesus grew, and no one knew of his whereabouts, and no one knew where he was. And he grew, and he learnt about the Trinity, and he learnt about freedom and not wanting to be a king of kings and be ruled by bloodshed and external Elohim. So he arrived, and then he became a freedom fighter too. And he fought against this group until, well, they chased him, he chased them. But his words spread far and wide of this message of freedom, a message of freedom from the rule of the Elohim, and a message to go inside and find the Holy Trinity within yourself, the Father, the Mother, and the Child, and to find your inner magic and your inner balance, and to not look for it externally to bring down these false idols. And that's what we're celebrating today, some artificial birthday of this freedom fighter known as Jesus, who was very brave, as was Mary and Joseph and all of those freedom fighters back then. And their spirit, may it live amongst us now, because we are the ancestors. The freedom fighters are the ancestors of those original groups who stood in direct opposition to the Elohim, and have been paying the price and trying to get out of, the slave matrix, the freedom matrix, the proper matrix, the divine matrix, and to get us back into that natural state. And the story is still ongoing, because we're still writing the ending to that part of the story. Where are the original star-being ancestors who lived in peace with us? Where are the freedom fighters, and where are the workers of the Elohim? And are they still serving them today? We ask ourselves upon this day. So with that little story being told and said, I'm now going to shuffle these oracle cards and ask for a message for humanity for 2024, going forward, carrying on the rebellion of the freedom fighters of our ancestors. What do the cards, the new cards, so I'm just going to, spiritual knowledge is coming out. That is card 29, looks like a 99. See, when I looked at that, I saw 99. And I think that those things have significance. And I think 99, why I was seeing 99 is because it's a time of completion. It's coming to the end of the cycle, coming into your power. And I think it's coming through this spiritual knowledge, which, because we have a lot of deception handed to us, our spiritual knowledge has been muddied. And I like the way this has the Trinity in the center here, and knowing about your own connection, to the different polarities, the colors of the Holy Trinity, actually. The pink, blue, and the gold. I mean, that's the sacred flame of the Mother, Father, Child Trinity symbol. You don't have to see the universe in the Trinity. You don't have to take that. But in ourself, when I do healing, this is true. It's the Father, the Mother, and the Child. The child is the enteric mind. And actually, you can work off these principles and gain a lot of healing from this, knowing about these principles. They are there in your body, and they're there in our reality. So spiritual knowledge, humans are going to be developing their spiritual knowledge. Maybe things will come to light, like this truth about the Elohim, these archangels that were worshipped, and these Elohim that we worship. Maybe we all need to shake ourselves out of that illusion, stop being on our knees and get up and take our power back. That would be nice, because the Elohim taught us obedience and to submit, the submission of will, the dominant submission, punishment, reward. That's the slave system of the Elohim. Abundance. Look, abundance coming from this spiritual knowledge, this growing of our own inner understanding, because your true understanding is coming from inside. It comes from inside of yourself. It's right in there, and to me, I'm not a Christian, but now I've had the download of the story of Jesus. I understand he was a freedom fighter, and he was teaching us about going inward, not looking outward. In all these things that I do, you will do too. So he was like, I'm not putting myself above anyone. That stuff is reptilian, man. That putting yourself above other people, that's ain't no hierarchy and importance here. That's where it all goes wrong. That's Elohim. It's good to start noticing things that you can look at and point at and say, oh, that's Elohim. That's from that slave matrix, the thing that enslaves us and splits man from woman and takes away the enjoyment of sexuality and marks us and makes us do tricks to gain entrance to certain things or rewards. All of that is Elohim. You have to start to recognize what is Elohim. Punishment, reward that's Elohim. Anunnaki, you can call it as well, because they were also known as that. But they were always rebranding themselves. And they often take things that you would have known. So words you thought were sacred, things you thought were sacred, images that you might have known from before in your peaceful times. And they would change that, use it, and then deceive you with it. So we might have known true angels, but then they would use that idea of what we knew about the true messengers, the ones I work with. And then they would use that and say, oh, yeah, these are angels. They will hijack and use things that already exist. And not all of the ancient stories of the gods are those same Elohim. People often jump to huge, when you just believe something, I can't think of the word. I'm having a blonde moment. Jump to conclusions. That this lot of gods, because they had similar names, must be this same lot of gods, and that must be that same lot of gods, but not necessarily, because the Nordic gods could have been a different bunch of gods, and the Greek gods could have been a different bunch of gods from older times. But then this lot would have hijacked all their names, titles, and stories that we may have given them, and then associated it to themselves. You see what I mean? They will take what exists as well to give you that feeling of truth, and then hijack it, and that's why they warp it. That's why they're called kings of lies, deceivers. Okay, next card for humanity. Intuition. Wow, these are some fantastic cards for 2024. And it goes back to one of the videos I made before, talking about how I see humans really standing more in their magic, the inner wizard coming out this year. As we all get sick of it, we start turning inwards. We get bored of the external world and looking to it for our answers. And we start going in. We start looking within. So expect a lot of revealing of truth this year, as if humans are going to be seeing more clearly. I say that because the eyes, here they're closed, but here they have opened. The eyes are opening. The eyes are opening for us this year in many ways, on many levels. And it's a part of our spiritual awakening. Our spiritual awakening comes from knowing the truth. Truth, spiritual awakening and truth is like the same thing. It goes together. So we've got, so far, I can see some people are finally realizing I was live. I've been talking to myself all this time, but you can rewatch it when it's finished. But the cards I've pulled for 2024 so far for humanity, we've got abundance, and we have a spiritual awakening, which was the first card. And then we have intuition. So really, you can see what this is saying, a huge spiritual upgrade for humanity this year in 2024. I am actually feeling like this is going to be a good year, because, why do I say that? A lot has changed in 2023. That slave matrix of the Elohim, of those negative ETs that I was talking about in the beginning of the video, that has been dismantled by the warriors of light on the earth. And this is a new age woo-woo I'm talking about. I was part of that mission, and we took it down, and we reinstated the proper matrix. And that was just part of what had to happen to free humanity. So we already did that last year. Couldn't even be the year before now. It was a while ago. We did that like during the weirder times. So this is going to be 2024, a year where we're really accessing now the proper matrix, but it's just going to be a drip of energy coming out into humanity as good intentions, I would say, and proper beliefs are going to be encouraged by this matrix. Anything that talks of freedom will be encouraged by this matrix. Diversity, freedom. All these things are a part of the proper matrix. It doesn't run on punishment and reward. You see, we're in the punishment reward system of the dominatrix, the submit, dominate you. That's the Elohim. So always tell yourself that's the Elohim right there. That's not humanity. Humanity didn't invent the slave matrix. We didn't do that. Right, I'm going to pull one more card for Eugenio. Let me pick Eugenio, a beautiful... Oh, Eugenio, look, my crown is falling off. You got, my darling, make a wish. If you're still there, and anyone tuning in now, not just Eugenio, I want you to make a Christmas wish and really know that you're a wizard. Make it a good wish. I wish for the big revealing of the Elohim and the slave matrix and for it to disintegrate and that we get rid of it. That's what I'm talking about. So you guys get to make a wish. Do it. Make your wishes good. Keep making wishes. Write them down. You know what I mean? Sing them out loud. Sing them out proud. And you guys who are joining now, you're going to love the beginning story that I told to nobody on this live chat earlier. So when it's finished, do go back and watch it. I do recommend it. I'm going to pull one more card. And then I'm going to have to wish you all very happy Christmas and New Year and get back to preparing Christmas dinner for my family. So one more card, 2023. Oh, yes, I'm feeling this one. Keep going. Yes. See, we're on the path. This is what I was saying. 2023 put us on the path. So many pieces of this path were created in 2023. It all looked a bit mad and probably seemed a bit crazy at the time, but so many pieces of a path were created. 2023 was a path-making year, and this is us, 2024. We're reaching a brighter future, and it really is all linked. This is why I'm telling the story now, back to the days of those Elohim with their archangels and their stories and their prophets and their books and what they told us and what they made us do, and how they forced kings upon us to submit us to their will. And the kings had to submit their will also, or they were oofed. And there was this whole punishment reward system that's held us back for so long and leads to bullying, slavery, and all the negativity, the wars, all this stuff. But this is us going towards our freedom. This is the freedom. This is where we need to get to. It's what everyone's secretly wishing for down deep, is to get out of the slave matrix and get into that proper matrix where there's no more no more slavery, and the need to dominate other people's wills for your own aggrandizement is the best way I could probably put it. So keep on going, humanity. 2024 is really leading us, and make your wish. And I will wish you all very happy Christmas. Thank you all who join me. Please rewind, go and listen to it from the beginning, to my story. And I love you all, and Happy New Year. And maybe I'm going to live stream again. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, my darlings. Bye.